Hey everybody, welcome back to Talking Cardboard. As always, my name is Cory, and this is going to be a fun top 10 list where I go over the top 10 games that I am the most jealous of that I have not yet played. I'm very, very jealous of these 10 games, either games that have not been released yet or games that are just getting released that I've seen other people get their hands on and got a chance to play. And I just have not gotten a chance to play these titles yet myself. At least one of the games on the list is an older game that I have not yet played yet, but most of these other games are pretty much brand new titles. So let's get into number 10. Okay, and number 10 is a brand new game. I'm going to be saying that a lot here on this list, but this game is The Return to Dark Tower. And the reason I am jealous of this game is that the big dark tower in the center of the game board just looks so cool, and it looks like it's got a really neat theme wrapped up in kind of a Euro style game. And you know, I really like Euro style mechanisms. It looks like it's got kind of a sense of exploration mixed in with some Euro things. I don't know a ton about it. I don't know if it's got some like pick up and deliver with like resources or different actions you're doing around this big massive board. So I haven't really done a ton of research on it, but it just looks like it's got a really cool theme and just a massive dark tower in the center of the board that provides some great table presence. So I'm more intrigued with this game for the overall look of it. I know it's gotten some mixed reviews from other review channels out there or from other players who have played this game, but I am still excited to try it nonetheless because it just looks like one that if it does hit well with me, I think it will really hit well with me. It's, obviously with any of these games here on the list, there is still a chance that it won't hit. It won't be a hit for me, but that's true with any game out there. This one in particular, I am excited because the theme just looks so cool and it looks so enveloped in the storyline. One of the things that have been kind of hit and miss for me also are app-driven games, and I know this one has an app. I think the app looks pretty cool, and it's also got the thing where Mansions of Madness kind of had this where you're contributing these action points to a particular event or a particular thing you're trying to succeed at, and the more you contribute to that event, the better you do at it. And I kind of like that twist to things where they kind of throw whether or not it be combat or like trying to fulfill or succeed at different events. I like the fact where you can contribute varying amounts to said event and you don't really know the outcome of it, but it is dependent on how well you do at it. So I like the variability in that, and I think that the app looks like it integrates that part of it really well. So that is The Return to Dark Tower. Okay, and my number 9 game, I think, is a game that has not been released yet. At least to my knowledge, it has not been released yet, but it looks like a really fun cooperative train game called Switch and Signal. So Switch and Signal, I've done some research on it, and it looks really cool. I do like a lot of the different train-style games that are out there. I haven't dove into 18xx games at all, but I do have some of the lighter railway games that I have played before, and I really do like the train theme as a theme, but you don't see it done in a cooperative game at all, hardly at all. I don't think I've ever seen a cooperative train-themed game out there, and I'm really excited about this one. In Switch and Signal, like I said, it is cooperative. It's got varying levels of difficulty that you can adjust the game to, but you're working together to try to move trains to these different locations to pick up goods and deliver the goods to different cities before your time runs out. So it's got this really cool thing where it's called Switch and Signal, so you are manipulating the different switches at these different cities and different train stations and manipulating the signals that the trains are getting to try to get basically the trains from point A to point B or point B to point C as fast as possible. You have different color trains that go faster or slower depending on the color of train that you're manipulating. The different Switches will tell you what color train can go through which station at which time, and then the signals go from red to green. So depending on if it's a red or a green signal, that'll allow it to go through or not go through a city. So you've got to make sure that the signal is turned to green before a train will rifle through, because if a signal is red and the train is trying to barrel through the city, well, it is forced to stop, and whatever amount of action points you had left for the train's movement after it had stopped, all that leftover action points get eaten up with time points. And the more you eat down your time points, eventually you get down to nothing, no time left, and that's how you lose the game. So you're really trying to maximize the usage and how fast or slow you need to move your trains while picking up goods and sending them to the cities they want to get to, all in the while not wasting very crucial time points, because time is very limited in this game. Anytime you can bring some new mechanisms and some new puzzle-like content to a cooperative game, I get really excited about it. So that is Switch and Signal. Okay, and my number 8 game is the strangest game on this list, the strangest theme out of all themes possibly imaginable, and this game is called Cosmic Frog. And I'm excited because of some of the undertones of hype that this game has slowly been building throughout the last few months. I hear a little grumblings about it here or there about how strange and weird and unique this theme is. Mixed into kind of a simpler gameplay style game. But the theme around Cosmic Frog is that you're these giant godlike frogs in inner dimensions and different dimensions trying to suck up these lands into your gullet and then try to regurgitate the lands in different areas to score the most points. And a common theme with most of the games here on this list is I haven't done a ton of research on most of these games. It's the theme or some of the mechanisms I've heard about it, or some of the hype that's been generated around the game is what really truly has gotten me excited about these titles. So pardon me, you're going to have to excuse me that I don't know a ton about the games, but from what I see is that's kind of what it is. And you're getting into people's way with this game. There's a lot of player interaction. I hear the game can be kind of mean, so that could be kind of a negative or kind of a turnoff for some players, but you are trying to suck up these different land tiles, placing them on your board, and then you're trying to basically throw them up back in other regions of the board to try to score you the most points. And depending on the amount of the same colored tile you have in a row or vertically on your board at the end of the game is how many points you get to score, depending on how well you did with that. But it's got a lot of like, take that and, I'm going to get in your way, or I'm going to suck up the land that you needed for myself just so you can't get it. And there's a lot of back and forth with that, which seems pretty cool. But it's just got to be one of the strangest themes I have ever seen in a board game. And the art style looks pretty cool too. So definitely the strangest game on this list. I did put it at number 8, kind of a little bit lower down there because it is kind of a way out there in left field type of theme, but the gameplay seems pretty interesting too. So with some nice, tense, kind of mean player interaction that I would like to give a shot. So that is Cosmic Frog. Okay, and my number 7 is the only party game on this list, but it is just the party game that has been getting all the craze lately. All the hype sucked into one game, and this game is So Clover. Yes, I have not gotten my hands on So Clover yet. I have not seen it in stores. I don't know if it's been a wide release into distribution yet or not, but I have seen a lot of people talk about it and how it is played, and this party game seems like a ton of fun. So basically in this party game, everybody is given a plastic clover piece with these different tiles on it, and each tile has 4 words, 1 word on each side of the square tile, so 4 words per tile, and you're placing them randomly on your clover. Whatever the 2 words are that are touching, you have to write with an erasable marker. You have to write a 1-word clue that you think pertains to each of the 2 words that are touching each other. And after you do that, on the 4 sides of your clover, you get rid of the tiles, you put them off to the side, and then you lay down your clover in the center of the table. you give the other players your 4 tiles along with a 5th tile, and they have to try to configure the tiles in a way to try to guess which 2 words were on each side of your clover that fit together perfectly to make your one-word clue make sense. So it seems like one of those tricky party games where you're just trying to, have like a play on words or trying to associate the, one word with another word. And for me, it looks like it's got the right amount of thinkiness with the right amount of party, where you're not really keeping score or caring who necessarily wins or not, but you're just having a fun time trying to give clues and having other people guess your clues to see if you can make it work or not. So it seems like a lot of fun. Definitely one I want to try. I know it plays 3 to 6 players, so it plays up to a good amount of players that it just seems like it would be a lot of fun to give it a try with a large group of people. So that is So Clover. All right, and my number 6 game has a really cute, really awesome theme to it. It's got a bee theme to the game, and this game is called Honey Buzz. In Honey Buzz, it's deceiving. The looks of it is deceiving. It doesn't look like the style of game it really is, but what this game is more of an economic, kind of a market simulation game with a bee theme wrapped around it. So it looks really cool. I think it's got some worker placement where you're trying to get different resources. You're trying to send out your different bees to gather resources, and you're trying to manipulate the market and buy low, sell high, and do all those different things and create the best bee economy that you can for your bee colony to make the most amount of money or most amount of honey, or whatever your form of currency is in this game. So like I said earlier, I didn't do a ton of research on a lot of these games before making this video. I just kind of saw the hype around them and got excited about what little I have seen about the game, and that's what really gets me excited about Honey Buzz. I love economic style games. I love kind of stock market manipulation and trying to buy something for a cheap price and sell it for a higher price. And this game seems like it's got the right amount of weight to it too. It doesn't sound like an overly heavy game. It doesn't sound like a very simple game. It's kind of like a middleweight. And I do like my middleweight style games. So this game definitely seems like it'll hit a sweet spot for me. The artwork is really cool. The table presence is really cool. All the different bits are cool. The bee theme, you don't see done very often. I really like the bee theme to it. And I love how they make it a bee themed game with a market economy simulation style mechanisms to it. So that is what has gotten me really excited about Honey Buzz. Okay, and before moving on to my number 5 game, I just wanted to remind you all, if you're liking the content you see here on the channel, please consider subscribing. We really do appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up as well. The YouTube algorithm really likes that, and hopefully gets this video suggested to many other people so they can see this list as well, because I think these 10 games, deservedly so, have the hype around them. So yeah, if you could hit those buttons, that would be really great. So moving on to my number 5 game. This game, wow, has gotten some really, really positive hype. Everybody I've seen talk about this game says it's one of their favorite, if not their favorite of all time, hidden movement, hidden identity games. And this game is Mind MGMT, or Mind Management, or however you want to say it. I know it's based on like a comic book or graphic novel IP that I have not read, I know nothing about, but the hidden movement style game has always intrigued me. And I haven't played a ton of games like that, like the one versus many style games where there's one person that's moving kind of hidden on the map and you don't know where they're going, and the rest of the people around the table are either trying to find them or hunt them down or try not to get taken by them or killed by them, like in Fury of Dracula and games like that. But in this game, it seems like it's got a cool twist to it too, to where yes, you've got one person trying to sabotage everybody else who has their hidden movement and you don't know where they're at. So their movement is hidden behind a player screen. But it seems neat here, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it seems cool where the rest of the players are trying to fulfill their own goals all in the meanwhile, they're trying to find out where the hidden movement player is to ultimately win the game. So there's kind of a couple different things going on, or at least it seems like there's a couple things going on with each player, and it's not just completely watered down to just find the hidden player and kill them, or that sort of thing, or vice versa. It seems like there's a little bit more going on, where there's some more goals thrown into the game that you're trying to complete while doing this main overarching goal. So that seems really cool. I know there's some other like modules in the game as well, many other modules that you can throw in or take out depending on the level of difficulty that you want for this game, or how complex you want the game to be. So that intrigues me too. I do like modules to kind of adjust the difficulty, so that's really neat. And yeah, we're moving up to the top 5 of the games I'm jealous that I haven't gotten to play yet. So this is definitely near the top of those games that I saw it online before it got sold out, and I should have pulled the trigger. I have not seen it at all in my local game store, but I did see it online on one of the online retailers, and I was a little bit too late to press that buy button to get it. So I have not gotten my hands on it yet, and I really wish I would have by now. So that is Mind MGMT. All right, and my number 4 game was on, I think, Kickstarter or GameFound, or, back a while ago. I had the opportunity to back it, and I just decided not to for many reasons, but mainly because I back too many games as it is, and I need to kind of pick and choose which games I'm backing. But this one is one that I really wish I would have backed now. It's some people's favorite game of all time, or one of their favorite games of all time from what I've seen. So I'm really jealous of that, and this game is Dwellings of Eldervale. Dwellings of Eldervale, it looks like a really cool production. It's got this really cool tiles laid out on the board that look really nice, and you're expanding the board out. Every player has their own custom insert box that they take the cover off, and it's got all their pieces neatly laid out in it. And the player compartments are actually functional for the gameplay also. It reminds you the cost of getting more workers listed right on the plastic container. So it'll show you the costs or the different things you need to achieve to get those pieces out of your container and to get them usable. And it's just very functional and looks very cool. You're sending, basically in a worker placement faction, you're sending these workers to different areas on the map to trigger these different actions and different effects. But I really like how it seems there is a good mix of Euro mechanisms with some American-style mechanisms in this game, where you're not only gathering resources and doing the typical worker placement action-style selections, but you're also having to fight off these monsters to try to get points that way too. So it's got these really big behemoth monsters all over the map. I definitely do like a more fantasy monster fighting theme, but I love my Euro games too. So I think this game will appeal to both style players, but even me as being more of a heavy Euro gamer, I think this could still appeal to me and still be really fun for me. So I'd really like to give this a try soon, and that is The Dwellings of Eldervale. All right, and my number 3 game is a game that I just backed. I think it's wave 3 on Kickstarter now. It's the 3rd time that they've kickstarted this game because it's never come out, it's never been released to retail. It's only ever been a Kickstarter game that you can get only exclusively, I think, either from the publisher or just from Kickstarter itself. So I did back it this last time, and it should be coming in the mail hopefully in the next month or 2, if not sooner. I don't really know the exact timeline here because of some of the supply chain issues that we've been having throughout the pandemic and that sort of thing. But so hopefully I get my hands on it soon. But I've heard nothing but amazing things about this game. Another game with a great theme, or seemingly a great theme, a great board presence, but some heavy Euro game mechanisms. And this game is Vindication. So in Vindication, you are this criminal, basically this scumbag criminal that you're sent out to, I believe, like this island or just kind of in the middle of nowhere, and you're spending some time out there trying to vindicate yourself, or trying to make amends with yourself, becoming a better person, and getting yourself away from being that scum criminal lifestyle and becoming a new saved person, if you will. So I really like the theme of that. It's very unique, sounds very cool, but I just And I don't know a ton about this game, and I still backed it, but I just hear that it's more of kind of a cube pusher game, a Euro style like cube pusher, where you are trying to gather these different color cubes to convert them to, you know, other colors to do different things for you. But the thing that really got me excited about this game, and ultimately the reason why I backed it for myself, was that it just seems like the complexity of like the crunchiness in this puzzle that you're trying to solve with all these moving parts just seems so cool. It does seem complex. It does seem more on the middle to heavyweight style Euro game, but I just hear it's just a ton of fun. Like I said, you're trying to upgrade your different components and trying to convert them to different things, and you're trying to build this engine to help your your engine kind of works for you and kind of makes the process of everything smoother and quicker as you go through the game. And the better you can kind of crack that puzzle and work that the best you can, then you're trying to do that to win the game. But I don't know. Another one I don't know a ton about, another one that I see 10 out of 10s thrown all over the place about this game, so I just had to get my hands on it finally. And for a Eurogamer and a middle to heavyweight, more heavyweight Eurogamer, as you know, such as myself, I just really think this game will speak to me. The theme doesn't hurt it either. The theme is really cool, and I don't know, I just had to give it a shot. It just seems like, I do like my puzzles. I do like trying to crack the code and in engine build and that sort of thing, and it just seems like this game will deliver all those elements for me. So that is Vindication. All right, and my number 2 is the oldest game on this list, the one I was talking about in the beginning of this video, where it is pretty old now. I think the game originally came out in 2014, I believe, maybe a little bit before that, but I think it was like 2014-ish. So it is an older game at this point, but this game is Russian Railroads. And I'm kind of cheating a little bit here. I've never played Russian Railroads or American Railroads or German Railroads or any of the other iterations or standalone expansions to the game at all, but I know Ultimate Railroads is coming out soon and is on pre-order right now, and I'm definitely getting my hands on that. But Ultimate Railroads is going to basically be Russian Railroads with all of those standalone expansions and expansion content thrown into one giant box. And they're also going to throw in, is it Asian Railroads or Japan Railroads or something like that, into the box as kind of another expansion to it too. But the base game of Russian Railroads just seems so cool, and I don't know why I haven't picked up this game yet. It intrigued me back when it first came out, but that was, closer to when I started in the hobby. I started back in 2010, 2011 is when I really started getting heavily invested in the hobby. And just a couple of years after that was when Russian Railroads came out. So at the time, I think it seemed like too heavy of a game that I might not enjoy or might not really fully understand or fully appreciate at that time. But now it's definitely one that I would appreciate. I've watched a lot of content on this. I've read a lot about it, and it seems like it is right up my alley, where it is worker placement, but you were trying to build up, again, kind of build up an engine of getting better and better trains out onto your personal player board and sending them off on these different railways to try to get them as far along as you can to score the most points. But the resources and everything, like the upgrading and the way that the personal player boards work and trying to upgrade your trains while getting them further along the tracks and building out the train tracks on your board and all that seems so tight. And again, if you've been watching any of my videos or listening for the first half of this video at the very least, you know that I really like those crunchy heavy games where resources are very tight, very hard to come by, really hard to get, and it just seems like it provides a lot of strategy and a lot of brain burner thinkiness that I just really tend to love and enjoy in Euro games. So yeah, this one I know will be right up my alley, and definitely one that I am pre-ordering and going to be extremely excited to get as soon as I get my hands on it. And just start probably with the base game of Russian Railroads and then slowly work into the other components and expansions to the game. But I think it'll be pretty cool to get the expansion content with it also, because if this is a game that I really, really end up enjoying, I know I'm going to want to eventually expand upon it too, just to give it more variability and stuff like that. So If any of you have played Russian Railroads or German Railroads or American Railroads or any of the other expansion content for it, or just the base game itself, just Russian Railroads, plain vanilla Russian Railroads, let me know in the comments below, because I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And if it is still stood the test of time and stands up to today's game design, which in my opinion, it definitely looks like it still has held up just fine. So I'm very excited to get my hands on either Russian Railroads, or I guess at this point more likely Ultimate Railroads. So that is Russian Railroads. And the number one game that I am most jealous of, that I have not been able to play yet, and yes, you have all probably guessed it by now, it is the talk of the town, talk of the nation, talk of the world at this point. Everybody is just talking up this game like crazy and just saying it is just the best thing since sliced bread. And this game is Ark Nova. Of course, Ark Nova, everybody's talking about it. Seemingly everybody and their mother has gotten a chance to play this game but me, so I'm very saddened by that, but this game is just getting the hype. Just hop on the hype train all the way to Hype Town, because this game just, I don't know. Yes, it is probably, I don't want to say overly hyped, but yes, it is just hyped up the wazoo to the point where it's like, how good or how great can this game really be because of how hyped it has been getting. But from what I've seen, it does seem like a pretty solid game. It does seem like a game that at the very minimum I will really, really enjoy, if not love, but we'll have to see it get to that point after a few plays. Who knows? We'll see. It has been compared to Terraforming Mars, which was a game that didn't really gel well with me, that I did not like. In Terraforming Mars, I felt like the engine building was too expansive and too crazy and too broad. There's just way too many cards in front of you triggering off at different times and just too convoluted for me. So I hope, some people are saying, no, it's not like Terraforming Mars at all. Other people are saying, yes, it is like Terraforming Mars. But I really hope, the other way around. I really hope that it's not like Terraforming Mars at all, because I really did not enjoy Terraforming Mars. But in Ark Nova, you are building out your own zoo. So you're getting these animals and different contracts, and different contracts with zoos in different regions, and trying to bring in different species of animals to put them in your zoo. And it's got some tile placement on your player board, but also some hand management and some card play that allows you to get the animals to your zoo and that sort of thing. So the theme is really cool. The board presence looks really cool. The artwork looks cool with some more realistic looking photos of different animals, and the animal theme is cool. The zoo theme hasn't been done very often. I do like polyomino or tile placement when you're trying to build out different things on a player board. I really like that in any game that I play. And that mixed with the card play and hand management is what I think will really sing to me. This is a longer, really long, 3 hours long, 4 hours long style Euro game. But from what I hear is that everybody is engaged at all times around the table. And I hear that 3 to 4 hours just flies by because everybody is having that much fun with the game. So I really hope it lives up to the hype. I'm really, really jealous I haven't gotten my hands on it yet and haven't gotten a chance to play it. But that's just kind of the way it is with these smaller channels here, and people kind of forget about the little guy. But eventually I'll get my hands on it. Not a big deal. There's thousands of other games out there I can be playing in the meantime, so not a big deal there. But at the same time, it just looks really cool. One last thing I wanted to touch up on Ark Nova that seems really neat, and I know it's been compared to some other games that I have not played also, but you've got numbers 1 through 5 in front of you on your board, and you have cards laid out, one for each slot. And depending on what card is in which slot, that is how good the card is or how strong the card is. So if it's in the 5 slot, it's got a 5 strength for that action. And if it's in the 1 slot, for example, it's only got a 1 strength. And then after you're done using, let's say a 2, 3, or 4, or the 5 strength card, after you're done using that, then that slides down to now be in your 1 slot, and everything else slides up to become more powerful. You're trying to find the best time to use which card for which power strength, knowing that it'll become extremely weak, but in the meanwhile making your other actions that much stronger. So that seems like some cool hand management style play that will really sing to me. And that mixed with tile placement and building out your own zoo in front of you with all the different animals, those two things just seem like they will mesh really well. So don't get me wrong, I really do think that the hype is probably real, and it does seem like it's definitely warranted with what I've seen with the mechanisms and how it works with the theme and the gameplay. So yeah, definitely had to be, you all guessed it, I'm sure, but had to be my number one game that I am jealous I have not gotten a chance to play yet on my top 10 list. So that is it for today. Like always, if you like the content here, feel free to subscribe. Really appreciate it. Leave comments below with which games on this top 10 that you have played and what you think of them, because maybe you have gotten to play some of these games on my top 10 list here that you think are garbage and you think are just a waste of time. And let me know that in the comments too, because then I'll just not waste my time with it and it'll save me time and money. So I would appreciate that as well. Until next time, you all have fun gaming and have a great day.